We're in chapter 3 now, and we've got a plot that was spoiled by Mordecai, and we also have Queen Esther. But things heat up a little bit here. After these things did King Ahasuerus promote Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, and advanced him and set his seat above the princes that were with him. Now, I think this is worth looking at why Mordecai might have refused Haman. Bowing to a political superior was not prohibited under the law of Moses. However, one detail from the text may help explain why Mordecai refused to bow to Haman. The account identifies Haman as an Agagite, which likely means he was a descendant of the Amalekite king Agag. And it makes sense that he was in the position he was in because he was of some sort of royal background. The Amalekites were long-standing enemies of the Israelites. Mordecai's refusal to bow to Haman and Haman's determination to have the Jews killed may have stemmed from the historic hostility between the two groups of people. And Mordecai may have just not liked Haman at all. I think it is the fact that there is that history. There's never been any love lost between the people of Ammon and the Israelites. They just, since even wandering in the wilderness, the people of Ammon always tried to attack the Israelites. They never, ever had anything good to, any good rapport between the two. So that makes sense. And all the king's servants that were in the king's gate bowed and reverenced Haman, for the king so commanded concerning him. But Mordecai bowed not, nor did him reverence. So the king is asking him to do this, but he's saying, nah, this guy is a horrible person. I'm not going to bow to him. When the king's servants, which were in the king's gate, said unto Mordecai, why transgressest thou the king's commandment? Now it came to pass, when they spake daily unto him, he hearkened not unto them, that they told Haman to see whether Mordecai's matters would stand, for he told them that he was a Jew. Basically, now Haman knows that he is a Jew. And also they're thinking, well, maybe that's just the Jew thing, I guess. That's what I'm getting from this. And when Haman saw that Mordecai bowed not, nor did him reverence, then was Haman full of wrath. He's not happy. He doesn't like Jews anyway. If he's a Ammonite, he probably had no care for the Jews at this time anyway, and he thought scorned to lay hands on Mordecai alone, for he had showed him the people of Mordecai. Therefore Haman sought to destroy all the Jews that were throughout the whole kingdom of Ahasuerus, even the people of Mordecai. In the first month, that is the month Nisan, in the 12th year of King Ahasuerus, they cast pur, that is the lot. It explains it there. There's a thing on the side that explains that pur means Lot. And that means that the celebration of Purim is the celebration of there is a lot. The lot was cast, but it didn't happen. Before Haman, okay, so that is the lot before Haman, from day to day and from month to month, and the 12th month, that is the month of Adar. So pure. I guess I could explain it. Let's just go to the thing anyway. To determine which day to kill all the Jews in Persia, Haman and his attendants cast pur, that is the lot. Casting lots was a common practice in the ancient Near East, used to make decisions or determine fate. It typically involved tossing small objects like stones, bones, or ivory. The Jewish feast Purim gets its name from pure. I can't say it. The Persian word for lot. So that kind of gives you an idea. And Haman said unto King Ahasuerus, there are certain people scattered abroad and dispersed among the people in all the provinces of thy kingdom, and their laws are diverse from all people, neither keep they the king's laws. Therefore it is not for the king's profit to suffer them. There's so many times when people lie about things just to get their way. I forgot. I was going to, because I'm not connected to the internet, that doesn't show that picture, the picture of that they had on there. But hopefully if you've got the internet, you can see that there is a picture there. Just to give you a picture of what's going on. So it's not for the king's profit to suffer them. In other words, it's not good for you to have them around. They're not even obeying your commandments. That's a total lie. Except for, I guess, not a total lie. It's not a total lie because Mordecai is not bowing to him, and to him that is the command. He doesn't tell the king that. He just says they're not obeying the commandments of the king, or the king's laws. And if it please the king, let it be written that they may be destroyed, and I will pay 10,000 talents of silver to the hands of those that have charge of the business to bring it to the king's treasures. So he's saying he'll pay some people to go and kill the Jews, and then whatever they get from the spoils will come into the king's treasures. And the king took his ring from his hand and gave it to Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, the Jews' enemy. Put it very clearly, it's the Jews' enemy. And the king said unto Haman, the silver is given thee, the people also to do with them as seemeth good to thee. Then were the king's scribes called on the 13th day, the first month, and there was written according to all that Haman had commanded unto the king's lieutenants, to the governors that were over every province, and to the rulers of every people of every province, according to the writing thereof, and to every people after their language, in the name of King Ahasuerus was it written, and sealed with the king's ring. And the letters were sent by posts into all the king's provinces, to destroy and kill and cause to perish all Jews, both young and old, little children and women, in one day, even upon the 13th day of the 12th month. They know exactly when it's going to happen and how it's going to happen, which is the month Adar. and to take the spoil of them for a prey. Like I said, to take their goods and kind of as, well, it says for a prey or for payment, basically, I guess. And the copy of the writing for a commandment to be given to every province was published unto all people, that they should be ready against that day. The posts went out, being hastened by the king's commandment, and the decree was given in Shushan the palace. And the king and Haman sat down to drink, but the city Shushan was perplexed. I love the way they say this. And the king and Haman sat down to drink. It's kind of like, yeah, having a nice chat. So how was your day? Oh yeah, I just it was a bit rough today, but it was fun. And yet in the city, it just was turned upside down. It was perplexed. They were going, what the heck? What's going on here? And the king's in there just enjoying himself, not even thinking about all the stuff turmoil he's caused in the city with this. And it could have been some people were going, it's about time we got rid of those Jews, and others were probably going, hey, the Jews I know are just fine. I don't see any problem. And others might be going, well, if it's the Jews now, what's going to happen next? Will it be us, our people, next? That's how I see it. Anyway, it looks like it's not a good thing for the Jews anyway.